Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Food, Wine, and Whiskey in Your Own Backyard. I am Rob, your host, and today we are doing a show on, go figure, bourbon again. Gonna be fun though. We have some guests here joining us for this show. It's going to be a show. There was an episode, or not an episode, an article or something on Reddit, and talked about some bourbons that you should have in your collection. I won't get into that too much. We'll talk about that in just a second. First, let's introduce everybody who's going to be on the show today. Dave Scott's back. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing well, Rob. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to this one.
Matt Sorteren back. How are you?
Great, Rob. Thank you again for having me back.
And your better half is there.
Yeah.
Taylor, how you
doing?
Taylor?
That was good here. Thank you. Recovering, doing well.
And then we have the other Matt, who we call Carter, so we don't get confused. How you doing, Matt?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
And Christopher Francis, first time joining us on the podcast.
Yeah,
glad to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. I'm the newbie.
You're not a newbie by any means.
Not to bourbon, but
yeah,
to the
podcast. Absolutely. Well, we all saw, and I think we watch a lot of the YouTube shows, but it stemmed from a Reddit, little post or article where a guy posted about you really only need 5 bourbons to have in your bar at one time. I think the article, to me, the way I read it was that, obviously you're going to finish a bottle, so that might change at some point. But he put 5 kind of rules for having these 5 bottles, if you will. You remember what they were, Matt?
Yeah. So I think it was 1, what's your daily drinker? Your go-to for enjoying bourbon. 2, if you want to impress your guests, you want to go fancy, but you don't want to be too fancy, right? 3 is going to be your cheap mixer. So when you've got people over who maybe just want to mix and they want to have Coke and whiskey and Coke or something else, and then something great. So your Friday night bourbon. What do you kind of reach for on the shelf when you've got your good weekend ahead of you? And then finally, the big one is the unicorn, the special bottle, the one that you're saving, right? That you're saving for some special event.
If I don't like you and not a lot, you're not going to get a pour.
You're not going to, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Don't bring it to a party.
Don't bring it to a party.
You won't even know that I have it.
You have a bottle of that?
No.
Just put it in the bag. Just don't take it out.
Right. I was going to say, you guys can pull that way if you want, if that helps. I don't know if it does or not, but you're welcome to pull it if it makes it easier for Chris.
Sure.
Okay, so I thought it would be fun. We've seen all the YouTube bourbon channels doing this same episode, and I thought it might be fun to get us together and just kind of go through what would, based on what we have in our bar right now, and I think that's kind of the rule. It's not what you wish you had. It's what you actually have in your bar right now. What would you pick out to be the 5 that would, answer each of these for the bourbons, the 5 bourbons that you would have in your bar? So daily drinker would be the first one. So let's just what qualifies for you guys as a daily drinker? What makes it a daily drinker?
So for me, it's something that's easily obtainable at a very reasonable price that you don't mind putting a pretty good dent in however many days of the week you have a pour.
I'd say the same thing. I mean, I was kind of in that $30 range was kind of what I was thinking, and something that you enjoy. I mean, easy to find, like you said, but still unique enough to enjoy and drink all the time.
Yeah, because daily drinker kind of implies it's going to go down pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have definitely gravitated towards 2 that I have.
Yeah, but today you got to pick one.
So yeah, I have a feeling that
I can do that.
I have a feeling we're gonna have various maybe similar answers on some of these. Whether it's the daily drink or some of the other ones today. So we'll see how that.
I think so. I think there might be some that are a little bit different, but we all kind of drink a lot and have quite a few in our collection.
I mean, not that much.
Right.
Not that much. I mean, it's only Sunday and we haven't even had a pour yet.
It's still the weekend, right?
Does anybody have any criteria that would be different for a daily drinker? To me, it's the same as you. Easy to find, cost effective, and those are really the main 2. Is there anything else that you want to be able to go out and buy
QPR,
a
that's
bottle?
what it's all about.
Yeah. Chris, anything you have different from?
I might surprise you with a couple.
Okay. Well, who wants to start off with their daily drinker? Let's go around and
I'll start it off.
Go ahead.
So one that I have definitely gravitated towards is Old Granddad 114. That's my daily drinker. So
Nice.
my wife just said, "Didn't you just?" Because I came home with a bottle, and she said, "Don't you already have that bottle?" I said, "Yeah, but it's almost gone."
Well, I mean, for $24, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great choice. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, Jim Beam product, 114 proof.
High rye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great one.
Can't
Chris,
complain with you.
you're a
dude.
daily drinker.
See, I tend to go more higher proof.
Higher than 114.
Yeah, I actually brought a bottle of it today.
Okay.
I prefer more the Knob Creek barrel picks, or at least the barrel proof. So the 120 proof barrel picks.
Okay.
I would drink that every day.
And you can find those pretty regularly. I think they're,
Yeah,
what,
roughly-
12 to 14 years or
Yeah,
something like
and
that?
roughly $40 a bottle.
Just maybe not that Andy's pick. That
Probably
might
not
that
the
might that
Andy's
might not
pick.
be that might not be an everyday drinker.
But they're still pretty good though. Just regular off the shelf 120 proof Knob Creek picks are, I think, for $40. It's still
And you're a high roller. $40 for a daily pick. That's pretty.
Well, you're
I'm guessing you're not married.
No, I'm not. Luckily.
Yeah.
All right, Matt.
Okay. I put too many on my list here, so that was a problem. I think I'm just going to go with what came to mind first, which was Four Roses Small Batch.
Okay. That's like $32.
Yeah, I mean, it's just good. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Don't laugh at me, but I've never had that one.
Oh,
It's great.
That one and
that
the
is
small
great.
batch select I've never had.
you got to do.
I know.
It's
time to step up your game.
Yeah, it's
I'm dragging butt.
There were a lot of honorable mentions, but that one just kind of stood out.
Hey, you say step up my game. I think I've poured you a few good ones today.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm having this.
Oh, we got to get that to that discussion once we get to the fifth
Yeah,
bottle
well,
yeah,
of the
that's right.
selection.
We'll
The
we'll save what we're drinking
the
until
same
we get to
bottle.
that category.
Yeah.
But I do think that's a good one. I didn't, I in my mind when we started doing this and we knew we were going to get together to do this, I was trying to go, what is everybody going to pick in these categories? Just trying to think what you guys might have. And small batch from Four Roses never entered my mind, so
Yep.
I like that. And it makes me even more want to go grab a bottle and see what it's all about.
It's
if
a
you
cool
like it that
looking
much.
bottle too.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I love the kind of like round shape with the rose like in there. It's
Is
cool.
it the same shape or similar shape to the Select?
Yes.
Same
Yeah,
bottle.
it's the exact same bottle.
Okay,
Yep.
yes. Okay.
And it's the same bottle as the limited edition.
Yes. The LEs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are the Sorterins? Because your wife's a big bourbon drinker too. So how much is it? You guys have your own list? Is this a collaboration? What are we doing here?
It's definitely a collaboration.
Yeah, I would say it's collaboration, and we have the upstairs area where we have all of our whiskey, and then we've got the downstairs area which has the bar and our daily drinkers. And so I'll give you the 4 or 5 that are always there, and I'll tell you the one that I pick the most. Typically got a Buffalo Trace down there. We've got an Eagle Rare down there. We'll usually have a Wild Turkey 101, a Wild Turkey Rare Breed, and then that's probably. But sometimes the Four Roses small batch but that actually tends to go pretty quick. So it's
But
about
the one you
about
didn't
time to
mention
replenish. Oh,
that's my pick though. I think is the Old Forester Rye.
yeah, absolutely.
That's my.
That's your daily drinker?
because it's so
Oh, yeah.
versatile.
It's so
Yeah.
versatile.
So you listed a bunch. What's your daily drink?
My daily drinker is probably well in 1910. So and I
Wait.
yeah, hold on.
What's he doing here?
I mean,
Listen, I gotta pick
a list
one.
here, too,
Yeah. We all have lists, right? So, but my pick out of all those is probably at this point Rare Breed. I mean, and we've talked about this on one of the last podcasts. I mean, I was not a big, I wasn't as big Wild Turkey guy like some people have been for years, right? Until maybe a year and a half ago, and I actually
Same as
just
me.
got a Rare Breed. For the first time probably 7 or 8 months ago and had it. So, and since then it's been, I go through that and I drink it on a regular basis and then I buy another bottle and I buy another bottle and I buy another bottle. So,
you call me a high roller.
And that comes in about $40 to $45.
Yeah.
But
I
here's
think
the
that's-
difference. Here's the difference. Matt's married. But his wife drinks bourbon. So
Yeah,
she doesn't
you
want
you gotta realize it's like
Yeah.
20 per
Right.
person.
It's only
so-
$22.50.
Yeah.
But she wants the Old Forester. That's 2 bottles for. It's still one per person.
That's a good point.
Well,
I agree
we'll
with
do
you.
the aggregate. We'll say it's 60 and 30 a person.
And I'm going to say, you guys are some high rollers. I thought the daily drinker would be like $30 or less, somewhere in that 30
that's
to
kind
less.
of where I was going.
That's
with
kind
it.
of where I was, but that's fine. What was the reason you guys picked yours that as your daily drinker? Obviously it wasn't $30 or less. So is it just quality, or is it? And the reason I'm asking you guys that question because mine is Wild Turkey 101. $22. Can get it all day long on the shelf. It's 6-year and 8-year bourbon. To me, it's just fantastic. I like it at 101 proof because if I feel like I want to make a cocktail that night, still works for that. If somebody pops in on a Wednesday night and for whatever reason and they want to have a pour, it's not real hot that maybe they wouldn't like. It works for kind of, somebody that just wants to have a drink. So that was my reason for picking Wild Turkey 101. The picks you all made, Rare Breed, 116.8.
Yeah.
That's a hot one for a daily drinker.
Well, it depends on if it's Taylor and I, or if we've got guests over and stuff, right? And that's why, I mentioned, and I would say if I have to pick between the rest of them, it's either the 101 or maybe even the Eagle Rare at 90 proof, where if other people are over, don't want something as hot,
You're
trying to
changing the rules to the game.
Yeah, well, look, hey, you can't be. It's hard to be black and white when
But you have to. That's what made this
All right,
tough.
then,
When you
then
looked
rare
at the
breed.
question,
Then rare breed. That's it. That's the
right?
money right
when
there.
when you looked at the question, you had to go, shit, I got to pick one.
I was going to put Eagle Rare as mine, but
Yeah.
then I was thinking to myself, well, not everybody can get that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it out.
But
there,
that
it's
was
the rare
my
breed.
thought going into why would I pick 101. That was kind of I tried to think, if it's just me drinking it or somebody's with me, kind of picking that into some of the decision making for what I picked for this list. Because I thought it was fun to do this, to really make. If it were easy for me to think about it with the bars we have, I mean, it could be. Daily drinker could be, a Russell's Reserve store pick
Right.
every day,
Right.
but
Right.
I'm trying to think it more in the context of.
Oh, but then again, there's the other selection that you have to make of sharing with your friends too. So
That's
that
what
falls
came into my
the other
mind.
bottle, right? So
Yeah.
that could be your other bottle where you say, oh, if I'm sharing, and I want to have this bottle that I'm sharing with them.
You're right,
versus-
because they do have the one to
Yeah.
impress your guests,
Yeah.
and that's next on the list. So you want to start with that one?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, see, here's
It's
the
one.
thing.
It's one. Hey, Taylor, help him out.
So this is pseudo one, maybe. I think it's probably going to be some type of Four Roses pick.
Okay.
That's always and I know there's a wide array.
No,
of
I
that,
think
but
that's-
I think that's you're focusing in and saying, hey, a Four Roses pick, right?
I think that's a great answer.
barrel strength, and you can always go and pick something depending on what people's profile is and what you think they might like, and there's just
still
a lot
a-
of endless opportunity.
Yeah, it's still a Four Roses single barrel, right?
Yeah.
So
Chris seems to disagree, so let's hear it.
I mean, it is for guests, not for the Pope. If for mine, it would be probably Old Forester 1920.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
It's a good bottle.
Great
Well,
bottle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge fan.
I love anything Old Forester for the price. What, $60?
yep.
I mean, it's not a daily, but you want to impress your friends, pull it out, have a pour.
and how much did you say for the Old Forester?
That was like 60, 50, something.
No.
It
40,
I think they've
48
dropped
bucks?
in price a
Have they
little bit.
dropped?
The 20 is in the 50s, I think. But
I see it at
10 is
40,
a big
47,
place. Yeah.
47.
really
every day.
Okay.
Every day.
So around
40,
Yes, it-
$50. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
saying,
it came
impress
down in
guests,
price.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
That could be a daily drinker for me at this point.
I know kids. You
A
and
couple more
Chris.
dollars more from the rare breed.
I don't know why you didn't put that as your daily.
Yeah.
that was on my list, but I had to pick one.
Just their
Look.
I think their flavor profile. I think anyone can pick out Old Forester's flavor
Yeah.
profile, and that comes from their yeast, right? It's that banana.
Yeah, very very banana.
Which I
profile,
like.
yeah.
I love it.
I
Same.
do too. Now, are you in agreement, Taylor, with your husband on the Four Roses store picks?
What
single
what
barrels?
would you pull out to impress people?
Probably a Blanton's. I mean, that's
mean-
So-
everybody recognizes it. Everybody think can't get their hands on it.
Right.
And
So,
it's-
but here's the question then, and again, it's hard because it's black and white. You can pick one bottle, but we've got friends that drink whiskey and would be like, oh, okay, cool, Blanton's.
Oh,
And then
it's
you've got
totally
other people who are,
situational.
it's got to be situational. But how do you pick? Is that your
That's the
overall
problem
pick,
with.
with a black and white list.
right?
Yeah,
yeah.
It is the
Yeah.
problem. You're exactly right. For people who drink bourbon on a regular basis and have access, because you're trying to meet, the criteria of what guest is coming over.
Right. So
Right.
if you've got someone who's not into whiskey at all, I mean, I've got a neighbor who loves Eagle Rare. Like he's like, that is the best whiskey I've tried so far. I love it. And I've had him try some other stuff too. And he's like, I really like that Eagle Rare, And so whenever he comes over, I'm like, hey man, have at it.
Yeah,
That's it.
I wonder if the guys who are doing their YouTube channels, if you're going to really, now you make me think about that a little bit more. If they were really trying to kind of give advice to people what they should have, not necessarily what they would. Because their friends are all going to be
Yeah.
I mean, they're-
Experienced
experienced drinkers.
bourbon
and-
drinkers.
You would expect so, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dave, yours.
So-
impress your friends.
So my impress my friends would be an E.H. Taylor small batch.
Okay.
I was gonna say that was up on my list.
You keep wanting to add to your list.
She talked me down out of it.
I did. He did say that, and I was like, I don't think that one fits for the category.
Carter, look at your buddy over here, man. He just keeps wanting to add to his list.
I mean,
I'm just Carter's buddy. I'm not a.
20 here. You know,
Two pieces of pod.
Yeah, because it's.
Roughly the same price from what we've listed so far.
33 to 38 bucks.
Yeah.
depending on if
But
you
it's
get it
hard
retail.
enough to find that just by having it on the shelf and being able to
It's the
pour
wow
it for a
factor.
guest,
Right,
it would
it's
be
the wow
the wow factor.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
I agree.
the
Tubes are pretty
tube,
cool. You play.
yeah,
I agree with you there, too. The tube and the way it's bottled.
presentation,
It's a nice bottle.
Very cool.
Yep, and coming in at 100 proof, bottled in bond. It's not too hot for an inexperienced drinker, and it's in a good slot for
I agree. Totally agree.
a guest.
I think that's a good choice.
Yeah.
Chris? You already did
Oh,
yours.
yeah,
Yeah.
1920,
I haven't done mine.
Carter?
I mean, Taylor stole mine. I'm going to go to the second one on the list, but I was going to say blends. I mean, if you pull out blends, it's
Oh, yeah.
the bottle.
The bottle.
I mean,
It's like,
everybody-
holy shit,
everybody
you've got one of
knows-
those?
But which Blantons?
Well, we'll get to that later, actually. But yeah, just a regular old Blanton's. I mean, I think people who don't know anything about bourbon, they know what Blanton's is.
Still no blend.
You know?
They've seen John Wick.
They've seen John Wick.
But if I got to go to my second one on the list, or on my list that I created, I'd say Weller 107.
I think that's a
Yep,
great one,
Antique
too.
107. Yep, absolutely.
People know the Weller name. It's a nice looking bottle, with a gold top or whatever.
Better than 112 or Waller 12.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is.
Yeah.
Well,
think it's
but the combination of the two.
Oh man.
Sure.
Well, yeah, you've had a really good poor man's Pappy mix, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've had a couple, but I think you liked one better than the rest.
Yeah, Brant King's was
yeah.
super good. No, I got to give you credit. Yours was really good.
Matt Sorter, after hearing his, do you want to add any more to your list?
I mean, I would love to add 6 more bottles, but unfortunately, I don't think that's within the rules.
Yeah.
So for my impress my guests, I did and this should make, I think, you, but really Matt happy. I did Old Forester 1910.
Yes.
Perfect,
And
yeah.
the reason I did that was thinking about friends coming over, guests that come over. Even if it's an experienced drinker, even though it's 93 proof, that double barreling on this, the flavors you still get out of it. It comes out of one barrel, they proof it down to 100, they put it in that second charred barrel, then they get it down to 93. So it's at a proof that if it's an inexperienced drinker, it's still going to be something that's fantastic.
It's not going to melt their palate.
Yeah, and somebody who likes bourbon very well is still gonna. If I pour that for them, they're gonna be like, "Hey, that's solid, man."
Be
I'll
very
drink that all
enjoy-
night."
It'll be interesting
Impressed with the
to
pour.
do that with the new bourbon drinker and kind of pair the 1910 with the 1920 and see which they like better.
If it's a new bourbon drinker, I'm just gonna say from the heat standpoint of 115
To 100,
Yeah.
yeah.
to down to 93, I would think they would lean towards the 93. But to me, a lot of times experienced bourbon drinkers might tell you at 93 you're not going to get the flavors that you're going to get at 115 or that barrel proof. I think you do
Here's
on this
something I
particular
was
one.
thinking about though. What about people who like a lot of spicy food? Because that's
Okay.
what I found, coming into
Then you
bourbon.
give
is
them a rye.
That too, but I think their tolerance for the heat level or the alcohol content is more increased if they eat more spicy food.
That might be a good point.
Yep. And
I found it with myself.
And the
Yeah.
1920 being 115 proof, but it's prohibition style, so it's high rye content. So
It is
So-
a spicy
It's
gas.
spicy.
So it is
Yeah.
definitely
You double
spicy.
down on that.
And I
really, yeah.
love
Yeah.
the 115. But to me, there, a lot of people with Old Forester that might go into the store and see them side by side and think that they're kind of a series. Oh, try this one first. 93. Try this one. They're not in this kind of sequence. They're totally
They're
different
different.
with the whiskey
They're
rub.
different.
You just got to blend them 60-40,
Yeah.
and
And
then you got a real.
What do you have there?
A 1915.
A 1915. But that was mine for impress your guests. I thought that was
Good choice.
Yep.
That's a great choice.
Yep. Very good.
All right, cheap mixer. Matt Carter, you want to start us off on
Sure.
this one?
This one was a super easy one for me. I love early times. I would just drink that on its own. I know a lot of people don't.
The bottled in bond or the regular
The
early
bottle and
times?
bond. And it's a great mixer.
It's a liter.
A liter for $20. I mean, you can make a great cocktail out of it.
Yeah.
It's good. because this was a bourbon list, that's the reason I didn't put my absolute favorite for mixing, which is Old Forester Rye. Yeah. But it being a bourbon list, that's why I said early times. So.
And I think most of us are probably going to have something on our list that not only would it be a mixer, but it's still inexpensive enough. I don't say cheap. I say inexpensive because I think most of these we would still drink neat. There's still that quality at the lesser price because what you're talking about is $22 for a liter. And now let's skip Matt Swerderen and let's go to his wife Taylor so we get one answer. Yeah. Good call.
You picked the wrong one to skip me on because I think we both agree. And we've got one choice on it. So
okay, there's not 5 or 6.
No,
okay.
There's one. Well,
I was actually thinking of a second one because
Oh,
I knew which
geez.
one you were going to say. So I was, but no, I mean Ezra Brooks, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the old Ezra 90 proof.
Yeah.
It was just it's very.
Can you find that?
I can't
Yeah.
find it.
Oh no, it's just it's the standard old Ezra 90 proof. It's not any
Not
of
the old
not the
Ezra
old
7.
Ezra 7.
I know that, but I've not.
It's old Ezra 90 proof. It's on the bottom shelf at most stores.
Black-
You get a handle
Black
for 20
label.
black label,
Yeah.
a handle for $25.
Yep.
I mean $22, whatever it is, and I mean that is we
You
grew up
got
on
me
that.
intrigued now
That's-
because I've not. That surprises me.
It's just it is so a lot of people talk in the same realm of like very old Barton, like 86 proof or even the 100 proof, and say I'll mix that. The old Ezra Brooks 90 proof is the same realm in my mind, and that was one of our bottles that before we were big into drinking bourbon on its own, we mixed that all the time, and then once we got into it, we started drinking it, and trying it and saying, let's have this neat. And I was like, wow, this is for of course, QPR, right? So for that handle for $25, $22, whatever it is, fantastic.
And the 90 proof holds up. Mixing.
It holds up, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would have never even thought
Same
of that
here. I mean, I honestly I thought you were gonna go like Evan Williams bottle.
That's
or
what I
something
thought.
like that.
Right. No, yeah, that's and there's probably some partialness to it just because that's what we grew up, kind of having and like kind of just remember is probably a nostalgic factor to it. But I still think it's a great point. I mean, we probably had a bottle, a couple months ago that we had and just would down in the bar for different cocktails
Yeah.
and mixing and pouring for
It's
people.
a great answer, man. So, like, Total Wine Specs here in Houston is the big kind of main retailers of where we find bourbon. They have it.
Oh yeah,
Every
absolutely.
day on the
Yeah.
bottom shelf.
Yeah, bottom shelf.
So
Yeah,
you know this one.
yeah.
You know it,
It's
Chris?
just black label, Ezra Brooks 90 proof.
Okay. I'm going to look for that one
Yeah.
now. Great answer,
I don't
man.
know that I've ever had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real inconspicuous bottle just because
Disgraceful.
it looks kind of like a Jack Daniel's
Yeah,
black
like a
label,
big,
squarish bottle
I think now
that,
that you mention it, I
that
have seen
Yeah.
and you just kind of glance over it and
whatever. It's just
yeah.
Wow.
All right,
It's-
Dave. Well, what do you...
All right, so this one could have also fallen into my daily drinker, but the mixer for me, cheap mixer, would be the Wild Turkey 101.
Okay.
So,
I mean, you're right. It's a daily drinker, and it's proofed enough that it can be a
yep,
mixer,
it
too.
can- and I don't ever make cocktails, so if you're coming to my
You're just
house,
playing along.
I'm just playing along on this one category. So if you're coming to my house, you can drink it with an ice cube, or you can drink it neat. So
Wait. You won't have a can of Coke and let somebody make a little cocktail?
I don't have any Coke in the house.
No
so.
simple syrup and some bitters to make an old-fashioned?
No.
Wow.
we can fix that real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, your mixer?
I'm gonna get more cheaper. Probably the white label Jim Beam.
Okay.
It's like $20 a handle, roughly.
Proof?
Yikes.
Probably 80 proof, I think. I still think it's 80.
Oh, it's 80
I
proof?
think so. I can't remember, but
80 or 90, something
Yeah.
like
it's,
that.
it's around there. I can't remember.
You know why I go 80 proof? Because I'm thinking if you're mixing it, does that give you
is
enough
it gonna
oomph
hold
there
I think
to...
so with just like Coke.
If you pour enough of it.
And then you got
That's right.
2/3
60,
bourbon.
60-40 ratio.
It's all about the
I
ratios
mean,
at that
let's be
point.
honest. If you mix it with a Coke, you're doing it just to get trashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For effect
So,
only.
Three-fourths bourbon, a fourth of Coke.
Splash of Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is that one that you might have a pour of as well?
No.
Okay. So it's strictly a
It's
mixer
strictly
for
mixer,
you.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm last here, right? Mm-hmm. So mine was the very old Barton.
Okay.
$13.99.
The bottled and bond, or now it's crafted.
Crafted, 100 proof. So to me, it's still at that proof where it holds up in a cocktail.
They're no longer doing it bottle and bond?
No,
they
they
ran out of-
removed the the bottled and
wow.
bond statement on the
Okay.
bottle. So
Do people think that it's still in that same classification or close at least?
I think
obviously
it
there's a
is.
reason
It's
they
just-
pulled it off,
well, it's
but-
still labeled as 100 proof. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
not bottled in bond. But they've also got the 86 proof
Yeah.
that also says crafted on it. So you've got to pay attention.
So is it 4 year? Is it minimum 4 year though? At least.
Now that
Well, it's
I
not
don't-
age stated, so
Yeah,
I'm
it's
guessing
non-age
it
stated,
is at
so
least
As
4
long as it
years.
doesn't say on there, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they used to just have like the number 7
Six.
on there or 6
Six.
or something like that.
Yeah, because the bottle that I have is an old bottle and still has the 6 on the neck. So it was 6-year
Yeah.
age stated and bottled in bond. So
I think it's a great little mixer, but I also will, somebody wants to try something neat, and I don't want to give them something, a little higher end at 100 proof. It's not an expensive one. It's something that just kind of break their palate into it. I'll pop that one out. So it's one that I like. I don't think a lot of people think about that one either too often for a mixer.
I think you're right. I really like it too.
Yeah.
In general. So
agree.
All right, something great, and this is your, you come home after a long week, you've had your daily drinker all week, whatever it was, and you're ready to go, I'm going to step it up a notch. And Chris, what would you do for this one?
I don't know if this will surprise you, but actually I like the Bell Mead cognac cask.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
the
one.
XO.
It's a little expensive, $80 a bottle, roughly. I think that's what I paid for it.
Okay.
It is probably it's amazing.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I love
It's
that
incredible.
I've not had any of the Bell Mead products.
You didn't. I thought I brought it to one of the.
Yeah, but
you
you
didn't
told me I
try?
couldn't have any.
Well, yeah, I told you. Yeah.
And
I-
you, and
I
you
let
brought
David
the
have
X,
some.
you brought the XO, right?
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
That's the
also,
cognac one. Yeah.
I had a friend over a few months ago, David, Fish Store David. He's not a big bourbon drinker, but I gave him that. He said, "This is the best bourbon I've ever had in my life."
Really? I need
It's
to.
good.
I need to buy some of that. I've just not pulled the trigger on it, but I need to try it. Everybody says great things about
I
the
think
whole
that-
Even though it's high
line
proof,
of Bell Mead.
it's sweet enough where you can't taste the heat.
Okay.
What is the proof on that? I don't even remember. I've got a bottle at home, but
I think at least 110.
110. Yeah. So honestly, out of the three that you go out and see, you'll see the Madeira, the Sherry, and the XO, and which is the cognac, and the XO is hands down my favorite.
Really?
Of the three. Yeah. I mean they're all very good. but-
Comparable in price?
yeah, I think they're all about that same.
80.
Okay.
80.
Yeah, 70 to
$80.
70 to 80,
Okay.
75 to 80. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes you'll catch it on sale at like some of the bigger,
So
places around here.
it's only 90 proof.
It's only 90. Yeah. But it
That's
just,
a nice, easy drinker.
Yeah.
It-
But I'm
it is.
guessing in that cognac finish, it's got to have some great flavor.
It does. I think the one I have at home is actually a store pick, so it's a
Oh,
little
wow.
higher than 90 proof.
Okay.
But I've had others, the regular off the shelf, and it's still
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Dave, your Friday night, come home. I'm going to step it up a notch.
So for me, that's for Chris's daily drinker is my Friday night special with the Knob Creek store pick, 120 proof.
I think just for the value, for $40, I mean, 2 pours of that, you're pretty much there.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And that's why Friday night, can let loose a little more, have a couple pours of that, and
you're golden for the
Yeah.
night, I think. Yep. For
yep,
Or Sunday afternoon.
Sure. Yeah.
Or Sunday afternoon.
during COVID, isn't every day Sunday or
Yeah,
Friday?
right.
or-
Man, I'm watching you over there, and it's like you're trying to, which one am I going to say here?
Shaking his head.
I just don't know which one to choose.
We're
I got 12 of them listed.
I do. I have a.
Do we
bunch
need to give
listed.
you? Do we need to give you another minute?
No. I think I'm just gonna go right out with it. If I'm gonna pour something, Weller foolproof for
Okay.
Friday night,
Nice.
I really like it.
Yeah.
And call me a tater, but
Tater.
I think
You're a tater.
Yep.
it's amazing. You
Yeah.
know? And of course it's hard to find just the generic non-store pick ones. But I have had one of the generic non-store pick ones at Matt's house, and it was fantastic.
Dude, that was the first release, like when it first came out, and might be one of the best. I think I've had a couple store picks that were definitely better, but overall, in comparison to the average store pick, it's been better.
And I've heard people start talking about that the non-store picks are not just a little, but a lot better than
Yeah,
the
the
store
original expression, because
Yeah.
everybody chases the store picks, and they're just
Which is a single barrel.
right? Single barrel, and such variance between what you're going to get based on whose palate picked the barrel.
Because the regular is not. Is it a single barrel? It's not, is it?
No.
It's blended.
No, it's
No,
blended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that's where the master distiller kind of can play with it and get some flavor that he
Yep.
Yeah.
really
he
wants
has
to.
choices. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
It's a warehouse.
But in this day and
Yeah.
age, that little round gold sticker on a Weller product, you know,
Oh, yeah.
that increases the taste and the value.
Well, that's
So,
the taters out there that go into store pick. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
it must be better. Right?
It's got to be.
I mean, there's
Man,
some.
Rob, the pot calling the kettle black.
What are you trying to say?
You're not chasing after the
What number are you?
number. Yeah, cut it down.
Mute
You
Mike.
got-
Mute Mike.
It's gonna get edited. You're gonna have some audio where it's like, yeah, and
No,
get
no.
mute. Did
I will tell you that I do like store picks.
I think we all do. I mean,
No, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
why do we like store picks?
It's a variety.
it's an experience, right? Because you don't know what you're gonna get. Oh, I mean, you may hear, oh, that one's great, right? But if you get a store pick antique 107, or I mean, you literally
So what you're
insert any
saying
bourbon
is,
ever.
because it's a single barrel, every store pick we get, if I get 6 different Russell Reserves or 107 store picks, I know each one of the bottles is going to be different,
Right.
which
matter-
makes
no
it
matter
fun.
How,
Yeah.
No matter how
Yeah.
subtle it is,
Yep.
Yeah.
it's going to be different.
That's
And-
what I like about store picks. But sometimes it's nice to go, hey, I want that
original
the
expression.
original 107 and know that, sometimes it's nice to have that pour.
Right.
And
Yeah.
go,
As a
it's
reference
just-
point.
Right.
just to say,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so
Well,
this
some
is,
of them
That's
can
my
be-
point. You don't have to be so
Absolutely.
hard on me, Matt.
Well, some of them can be pretty on profile, and some of them can be pretty off profile.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
When it comes to picks, but I mean, as far as the foolproof goes, even like if you're looking at, I know not everybody can find Weller foolproof out there. I mean,
What?
Go figure. Anything with a Weller on it. But what I'd say is, like, when it first came out, the secondary value was extremely high on the Weller
Yeah.
foolproof. Now it's really dropped.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
And,
I mean, it's still too high
it's
versus
still like
retail.
way too
Right.
high.
Yeah.
But if you just wanted to splurge and say, "Hey, I want to spend $225 or $250 or something like that to get a Weller foolproof," you can do it now.
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, just my 2 cents on it. But
We're kind of derailing here, but I want to go back to your comment about on profile and off profile for store picks. And I think that's important to mention because a lot of times you get into certain store picks where you taste them and they're off profile for what they should be, and you love them, and you're like, "This
Yeah.
is absolutely amazing." Just that Andy's that we're talking about, is Knob Creek pick that Chris
Which
brought,
is Jim Beam, and you said you don't get.
I'm not normally a big fan of a lot of the Knob Creek picks, but it's not the same like nuttiness that you'll get from some of those, and it's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
And so you get that from a lot of different store picks that will either be on or off, and sometimes you like the off better.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point, is like you don't know what you're getting when you get those bottles.
And
so.
that's what I like about them. I mean, obviously there's some picks that whether it's a store or a group, they do a good job of picking some fun stuff. So you like to get those. But in general, I like a store pick because I know it's a single barrel and it's going to be unique in its own way. I don't go in with any expectation of what should I get out of this.
Right.
There's some that are just god awful. That store pick of Blanton's that Daryl brought that night to Matt's house.
oh, it was horrible.
My gosh, that was awful.
Yeah.
Remember that? I was there.
Yeah, you were there that night.
That was a
man.
smoky, I don't even know.
Just
it was like
awful.
a campfire, yeah.
So you get those once in a while, but it's still fun to do
I
picks.
think some of my favorite store picks are some of the 1792.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I've never had a bad, especially the foolproof. I've not had one bad store pick on, and maybe it's just because it's that every single barrel that they do is great, right? And that, I mean, I literally haven't had a bad one yet. And the couple of single barrels are good. The bottled bonds are good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I haven't seen. Do they do store picks on the small batch?
I don't think
Probably
so.
not, right?
I haven't seen one.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one.
Most of it's the bottle and bond and
Yeah.
the foolproof. is what
Yeah.
I've seen.
Yep.
All right, Sorterins. Friday night, coming home, long week. You've had your daily pour, and you're going, I'm going to step it up a notch.
I see. I'm bucking.
wait,
I'm
wait.
bucking the system again. I can't.
Oh, hold on. Go ahead. Taylor, go ahead, Taylor. Are you guys not in agreement here?
Yeah, well, so, okay, does mine have to be bourbon? Because mine was
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
then.
See, it's just hard, and I think. I mean, yes, okay. I can sit there and
I
say
can see where it's hard when you have What is it? 1,372 bottles?
Me? No, not even close. But
Oh, more than that. Sorry.
no. I mean, I think okay. You know, if I have to pick one, sure, maybe I'll pick a Antique 107 or like Matt said, a Weller Full Proof or something. You know, just I mean something that you know is consistently good. But in all honesty, every Friday if I'm getting off work and I'm done, I'm like, hey, it's time to have a pour. You know, happy hour or hey for.
Well, let me pose it to you this way.
Yeah.
If I said the next 6 weeks, you got to come home and you got to pour consistently for your Friday night pour,
That
one
same pour.
bottle.
Well, that's,
'Cause
a whole
that's
different
that's how I looked at
Looked
it
at
for
it
me.
to try and determine. Yeah.
That's how
And
I looked at it for me to
that's a
try
really
to focus
good-
in on one that I would say, okay, I would pour this every Friday and enjoy it. That's how I kind of got to my.
So I would totally disagree with that because what I was gonna say and just thinking it up, I was like, okay, if it can't be a rye, because if it was gonna be a rye, it's gonna be Midwinter Nice Dram because that's my favorite ever. But would be the Four Roses OESO. That pick.
Yeah, but
And
I can't
but,
afford
I mean, we're not
to
gonna do
drink.
that every day.
Look,
Yeah,
Well,
I
that's
can't
my
drink
point.
that.
I got a couple I can sell you.
Which pick?
For tree fitting?
Tree fitty.
Well, that's my point. This is something great
Yeah.
where you can still get it to some degree.
Yeah.
It's going to be great, but it might not be like just on the shelf. But whether when it's released or what, I can get one of these, and I'm going to pour it every Friday night. That was kind of my criteria was what would I pour? What would I pour consistently if I had to pour one pour on a Friday night and be happy with it?
I'd probably go for Full Proof. I mean, and I hate to copy off.
No,
of
no,
Matt
no,
over
I think
here,
that's
but
fine.
like, yeah, it really is. I mean, it's just a very balanced pour that is, at least for me, I'm not going to be disappointed from.
Tater.
Hey, I don't care, man. Color me tater all you want, but it's good. There's a million other great bottles out there, but if I have to, and it's something that again because of the scarcity of it, the allocation of it, the what you're getting out of it. I mean, yeah, it's kind of it's an experience.
With that criteria, I can't wait to hear what your special
Right?
I've got my special bottle.
occasion bottle is.
Well, I
Because
also,
Weller Full Proof is that could almost be a special occasion, but
Well, when you gave us this list, I said I'm going to pick stuff that I have in my collection.
right,
not
that's what we
something-
want to do.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we
Right.
want to
That
do.
you have right now.
What
Yep.
you have right now, if you pull them out, that's what you have.
Yeah. So
So for my great pour on a Friday night, something fantastic. I love Heaven Hill, so I went with the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, which
That's
That's
amazing. That's a
fantastic.
great, fantastic.
I
pour.
might say I'm cheating. I mean, you guys can tell me if I'm cheating, but there's a lot of variations of that. I mean, there's
Not cheating
3
at
that
all.
come out a year, so you could just pick a different.
yeah.
The A120 or the B520 or the A119 or whatever you
Yeah.
want to, and it's just you can kind of mix it up, but it's a barrel proof. It's one that I think you could pour a nice healthy pour of, and just sip on it Friday night and just relax and wind down, and it's just to me with the flavors you get from it, I just think it's a fantastic.
That's a
pour.
great. That's a great selection.
I love it.
There's certain people we know can't drink that anymore, but
Who's that?
friend of ours who forgets things.
Is that me?
No.
I'm like I don't remember, so did I forget?
So is it me?
Are you gonna tell us who that is?
I think we all know.
Oh, okay. All right, so we have one category left, and this is and I don't know quite what the definition is for a special occasion, because for me a special occasion is hey I have some buddies coming over, and
Yeah.
I want to share something.
That,
with them.
that's my definition of it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like hey I got some good friends coming over, and I want to be able to pull this out and go hey I want you guys to enjoy this with me. Let's have a pour.
Yeah. Somebody who can appreciate it too.
Right.
It might still be a birthday pour. Hey, it's my birthday on Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and pour me another pour of that or
Yeah.
something like that. But it doesn't necessarily have to be an anniversary, a birthday. It could be just, a old college buddy's coming in from out of town, haven't seen him in 10 years, and we're going to have a nice pour tonight. Or something, whatever you want to define as a special occasion. But it could be as simple as some good buddies are coming over, we're going to have a pour. Dave, special occasion pour.
I'm trying. I had some stuff written down, but I'm trying to picture what I've got that I would classify as that.
Desert Jewel.
I think that definitely is on the list. So Smoke Wagon Desert Jewel. So I'll go with that. Yeah.
So some people listening might not, they might know a lot of the Wellers and the Heaven Hill products, and a lot of them might not know. They might have heard of Smoke Wagon, but they're going, "The hell is Desert Jewel?" Give them a little background on that.
Yeah. So Smoke Wagon is a distillery, or it's not really a distillery because they use MGP.
They bottle bourbon.
They use MGP juice, but it's in Las Vegas, Nevada, and they barrel age MGP products in Vegas. And the Desert Jewel was a 10-year MGP special bottling that they bottled, and I didn't know it ahead of time when I went to Vegas in February, and I bought a bottle for me and a bottle for a coworker, and left 5 or 6 bottles sitting on the shelf.
You could have bought more. Like
It was
no
unlimited.
limit? Wow.
Unlimited.
Oh wow.
So I bought a small batch, an uncut, unfiltered, and 2 bottles of the Desert Jewel, and left 6 Desert Jewels sitting on the.
Are you saying you wish you wouldn't have given a bottle to your coworker?
No, I just wish I would have bought the other 6 bottles. So
Now you can tell the truth if I turn the mic off.
yeah,
Mute.
but
That's a good one.
but it's something very special that's going for crazy amounts on secondary right now. That you can't get anymore.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's just one that we still might be able to get a each Taylor, foolproof or
Right.
something. You can get those. You can find them on secondary. That's one that's going to be really unique and hard to find.
Yep. And as soon as I bought it, I cracked it and had some of it. So it was,
It's half gone.
yeah. Well, no, not quite. But Matt tried to make a pretty big dent in it when he was
Yeah,
at my house.
I tried, but I couldn't accomplish much.
Yeah. But
I got told no. I didn't even get to try it.
Yeah, see, hey, that's a recurring theme with you, Rob.
He has a ranking
understand.
amongst his friends.
Hold on a second. Let me check.
that's right. Are you on the list?
you're
You're not on the list.
All right,
Yeah,
Chris,
so-
your special occasion.
Probably Old Forester birthday bourbon 2019.
Nice.
I got
Again,
the
it's
last-
got to be something you have in your
And I
bar, and he does.
I'm so
Yeah,
glad
so he has
that y'all
it.
special occasion bottles. I've been with y'all and gotten able to try. It means I'm around for special occasions. It's great.
That was a pizza party.
That
but
was
it
a
a special
great.
occasion.
Oh, absolutely. We
What
had
year
we had
is
a
this
great
one?
time.
2019.
Is that the only birthday bourbon you have?
That is the only.
It is, okay.
Yes.
I haven't had it, so I'm assuming it's fantastic.
It
You will
is.
soon, I'm sure.
Yeah,
And that's
19
the year
is-
that they bumped up the
I will,
proof.
yes, I will give you some.
Okay, I bet it's fantastic.
19
It's
is fantastic,
It's
yeah.
fantastic.
I like Brown Foreman, so I like, so I can only imagine it's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's one of the coolest bottles.
It
Yeah.
is.
Like
Yeah.
it just looks cool.
Yeah, just the presence on your shelf, if it's out in the open, is
Yep.
very impressive.
Oh yeah.
All right, Matt Carter.
Me?
Yeah.
I call me Tater. I go with George C. Stagg.
Huh?
I mean,
I don't think that's a tater.
Not.
you know,
2017.
the 2017, yeah, specifically because I have that one.
Not the 2019.
I like the
I
19,
do
but
too.
the 17 is just better.
Yeah.
in my opinion. So,
I have the 18, which is still good. But I think George T.
I like
Stagg.
2018.
Yeah, I think that's a great special occasion.
oh, you got the 18? I've never had that.
Yeah, you want some? As soon as you give me some 17, I'll give you some.
I bet you.
Yeah, no problem.
I bet you've never had my bottle that I'm about to talk about either.
Maybe you should start bringing stuff to the shares.
Right? Yeah, I know. I wish I
Keep it in
had.
your bag.
I was
man.
going to say the Four Roses 130th, but
But you don't have any left.
not anymore. I wonder
So-
why.
So the that's actually my bottle. So back in 2018, I was able to secure one. This was
What is it?
The Four Roses 130th edition.
You got one of those?
Yeah, so I have one of those, and that's one of the bottles that is one of the probably
One of three.
three
How much
bottles.
do you have left?
I haven't opened it yet. So that
Who's
is.
hosting the next supper club?
That's
So
that
the question
seems like
is,
a very
is that
special
a
occasion.
very? I don't know if that's a very very special occasion or
It's not.
it's.
Somebody drank like half my bottle.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
That's a good bottle to have.
It is, and so we've been talking for.
I think our friendship is very special.
well, maybe we'll see.
We're gonna find out.
So it is. I've been holding on to that one for a while, and it's kind of a. Is there going to be an occasion that it
Are you
is?
guys in agreement?
I think so. Yeah, I would think.
It's
So.
fantastic. That would have been my number one if I had it left.
But I've got a couple of surprises of unopened bottles that I think I'm going to open on our
care
Greek
about
night.
those.
So
Care less.
Carol. Okay, fine. You don't want that. All right.
Yeah, I'll be happy with that.
All right.
So mine is, I just want to say that just getting together with my friends today, I opened it for you guys. Just saying,
I
man.
figured.
No pressure.
No pressure.
It's been a bottle I've been looking for a long time. I had a pour in a bar about 2 years ago, and I went, my God, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, just quickly, I love a rye, like you, Chris.
I love him.
And it just skyrocketed to the top of what I wanted to chase down and find. And it's the Thomas Handy from the BTAC collection. This one particular bottle I got is from 2012, which we all have a pour in front of us.
Not
and we've
anymore.
It's fantastic. So this is what I would call a special occasion. I mean, we got some friends over and just going to open it up. So I'm sure that's how we all feel about the bottles we have.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
See how I keep doing that? See how I keep Taylor's like, no, but Thomas Handy, I never owned one. I've had a couple pours, so just pouring this today, man, I'm not disappointed. I think this is absolutely fantastic.
And what fun would it be to sit there by yourself and drink
I mean, I still have a
drink
good
pours
time, Dave.
pours of drink pours of Thomas Handy all by yourself, and man, this is good. And yeah, it's way better
No, I absolutely agree
shared
with
with
you.
friends.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the experience of it to be able to talk about it and
Yep.
enjoy it with somebody else to
Yeah,
go.
because it's my first pour of Thomas Handy that I've ever had.
I
So.
love it.
Well, you're
Well,
spoiled.
that was-
I've
this
had
was
some other.
special.
I've had some other
This
pours
was
of it,
special.
and this one is very special. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say that 2012 was a really good one, and I didn't do anything special to get it. It just kind of fell into my lap. A guy's like, "Hey, I have one in 2012. You want it?" And, yeah, I do. So it worked out. But this
Well,
is a pretty
thank you
good
for
one.
sharing.
Yes.
This is amazing.
Thank you.
I had one,
A sixth category.
a sixth category, and that's and all but one here is married. And what's the bottle that's your wife's favorite bottle that you have to keep on your shelf?
And this is open to. Doesn't have to be a bourbon.
No.
Yeah, I think that's a fun category because we all have significant others, other than Chris, who soon may. You never know.
Yeah, who knows?
But they dabble a little bit, but
Yeah.
they found that one bottle that they go, all right, that's the one. When I get a pour, that's the one I want. So go ahead, start us off.
I mean, my wife's is easy. I mean, I got it for the bottle for Christmas last year, and she's had about half of it, and I've had a few pours out of that bottle. And that's Michter's Barrel Strength Rye, the Toasted.
Yeah,
It's just, I mean, honestly, it's fantastic.
it is.
Yeah,
But,
I had a pour of that last night, and it was
yeah.
fantastic.
It's awesome, but she calls it
Toasted marshmallow?
marshmallow, and like that's and it does have that marshmallow kind of characteristic to it. But that's the one that's her bottle. I just get to sip from it sometimes, so that's hers.
So Matt, you don't get to talk this time.
I was gonna say we should do each other's. What do you think would be mine?
Oh, yours is Willet Rye.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm glad it's Willet Rye and not Mick.
Toasted barrel strength.
rye.
Yeah.
A little more attainable, but yeah, Taylor's just absolutely loves that pour.
That's your favorite.
Oh yeah.
Curious that we're 2 for 2 on rye
Rye.
so far.
Man, are we gonna be 3 for 3 and 4 for 4?
Well, who's
maybe?
going third?
I'll go third.
Okay.
My wife's favorite is the Costa Brown Pinot Noir. Yeah. Fortunately or unfortunately, as far as buying habits go, she is not a bourbon or rye fan
At all.
at all. She's opening up a little bit to try it, but she's still not buying in. So, which some days hurts my bourbon budget, some days it doesn't.
Well, I will tell you that my wife will dabble and just say, hey, let me just try a little, and she'll take a sip of about everything I put in the glass. But she found one that she goes, you might want to get a glass and let me have a little bit of that one, her own glass. And we're going to stay in the rye category, and we're going to stay in Michter's. It's the 10-year from Michter's.
Oh,
She absolutely loves that. And I'm like, honey, I don't want you to like that one.
that's,
Can't you like Willet? And don't you like Willet?
but
Don't you like Sazerac?
Yeah, right.
Isn't it wild though that
Yeah, 18.
we're talking we're all talking rye here, or I don't know. I mean, you wouldn't expect that from a non-bourbon whiskey drinker.
With just that
to like
spice in it.
rye,
Yeah.
I think the baking spice flavors that come into play, more cinnamon, allspice, maybe it just a little easier on the palate. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just,
Well, Michter's products, or Michter's ryes, generally speaking, I think, are just like 51%
Right,
rye.
are
They're
barely ryes.
They're barely ryes.
Yeah.
Right.
So just enough spice.
right. Not overly spicy and hot.
And I'm going to say it speaks to that they make a really good product. I think Michter's gets a bad name from a lot of people. And to me, it's a fantastic, it's one of my favorites. It just, I mean, even their regular rye on the shelf that's $40, $42, whatever it is, I always have a bottle. It's one that I enjoy a lot. And I think Michter's, in the bourbon world, kind of gets the nose stuck up on it a little bit. But I think they do a good job making a really good quality product.
Maybe it's the ladies subconsciously know that they have a female master distiller. So it's like girl power.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, I didn't know that. Do they have a female?
They do.
They do.
Oh, that's good. Okay, that's good information. I didn't know that.
Yep, but
Here's what I've wondered with my wife. If she likes that Michter's 10 rye, and I know it's not a rye, but I'm wondering how she would do like with an 86 proof sour mash, which I think is really good and a nice, easy drinker.
I really like the sour mash product
Yeah.
by Michter's. Yeah, that's a great bottle. And then their toasted barrel sour mash is again, it's 86 proof. People trashed it, but I thought it was incredible. I mean, it's
I hadn't had
it's-
that one.
It's slightly thin. I've got some. We'll do Greek night.
We'll do that in the 130. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Listen,
But
yeah.
what's funny is that you've both brought up that Michter's may not have the greatest name and people trash it, but good luck trying to find it because
Yeah, it doesn't stay on the shelf, does
no,
it?
it fly the American any of the US 1 series, the rye, the American
Yep.
sour mash, they don't sit on the shelves. And if you come across a Michter's 10 bourbon or rye,
Pick it up.
you better pick it up.
Yeah.
And that American whiskey is fantastic also.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was
The
gonna
what?
say.
the
If you like-
US 1 American.
Yeah.
yeah,
If you
that's
like
great.
vanilla,
Yes.
That's
Yes.
It's a vanilla.
So,
Super good.
what's the mash bill on that? If it's just a whiskey, it's not 51% corn.
Nope.
So what is it?
barley, right?
I don't know.
I just
Yeah, I'm
don't
not
think
sure.
that
I'm
it
not-
meets the 51%.
Probably 40, 40, 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, but it is good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Though. It's very good.
I haven't had that one. I've had the bourbon, I've had the rye, and the sour mash. are
And I
the
think
three that
that's
I
where
always have.
some people chime in and chirp on it a little bit is that the American whiskey, if it's not bourbon, it doesn't meet the criteria, so it can have additives as far as color. So,
Yeah.
if it, again, back to if it tastes good, why not drink it?
I
Yeah.
agree. To me, I don't care where you got it from. If it's good coming out of the bottle and into my glass, that's really all I care about.
Yep. If all you care about is provenance, then there's a lot of other stuff out there
Yeah,
that you
Right.
can chase.
Yeah, exactly.
But it does come down to price and all of that.
sure.
It's that.
Well, you guys were talking about it earlier. I mean, people in the wine world don't seem to care where
Your grapes are sourced.
No,
Yeah.
nobody asks.
If
I
you've
mean,
got if
tons-
you've got a good winemaker or bourbon distiller,
What's
master distiller, if they can work magic with other products or other sourced
that's what matters.
juice, then that's what matters.
Yeah, totally agree. So, do you guys think that the guy, and I don't know who it was who put this on Reddit, these questions, because I don't think he answered it. I think he just put it out there for other people to answer. I don't think he thought he'd get to run like he did. I mean, this blew up in the bourbon world.
Yeah.
It became a big thing. I mean,
Yeah.
all the YouTube shows from Mash and Drum to the Bourbon Junkies to the ADHD guy, Matt,
Yeah.
and all of them ended up doing an episode on this. So.
Yep.
Pretty fun. I thought it was a great question. Man. It
Absolutely.
was fun to go through and kind of
Brings up a lot of conversation because everybody's got a different palate and a different opinion of what.
Yeah.
Of whether a question should be black and white or not.
Yeah.
I just want to have 6 selections for every question.
What makes up a special occasion or a
Yeah,
very
exa-
special
a
occasion
very
or a
special
very,
occasion.
very special
Exactly.
This was tough for you, Matt.
It's hard.
Both
It's
of
hard.
us.
It's hard to drop down to just
Huge.
one.
I think it's hard for people who are into bourbon.
Yep.
I think
Trying to
guys
nail
who
it
go,
down to one in any category is extremely difficult.
That's why I said earlier. I think these guys, on these YouTube bourbon channels, might have been trying to help the everyday guy going, I want to get into bourbon. Where would I start? It's kind of like when it's Bourbon Night did the 12 bourbons you need to have on your bar.
Right.
Kind of that kind of thing is how I took what they were answering.
Yep.
I took it a little more personal with my answers, but I think they were giving people, hey, if you're going to do this, here's what we would suggest that you have as your 5.
Yep. But so much more goes into what you decide to pour on a daily basis, or the atmosphere you're in, the company you're keeping, and
Just like wine.
yep.
Yeah,
True.
definitely.
Yep. So
Food can play a role too.
absolutely.
Because I told you guys earlier, on a Friday night, man, I'm not a same pour kind of guy. I want to have one,
Either.
and then I want to move on to
Same.
something else.
Change it up.
Yeah.
Same.
But still a fun episode.
No,
This was a lot of fun
absolutely.
going through this.
Great
Very
time.
good, man.
Kind of making us go through our bars and go, okay, what based on what I have right now, what would fall into these categories?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I sat there and stared, and
Same.
I was like, how do I narrow this down?
in your 16 storage cabinets for all across the house.
Yeah, something like that.
Had to go in the bathroom and open up the cabinet
Right,
under
open
the
it.
sink.
It'll
Pull the attic down, the drawer down, climb up.
No, that one's not there anymore.
that's gone.
Yeah, that one's gone.
It'll be fun to come back in 6 months and see how this list might change based on how our bar changes.
That would be
Yep.
That would be a good
fun.
episode for
yeah,
sure.
because some of these things I know for me will probably be gone, and I might have to change it up a little bit.
Or if,
And
yeah,
we're-
if something new comes out.
And
that
we're
makes it like,
definitely
wow, this
getting
is great.
into the bourbon season of
We're a few weeks away from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
the really special stuff coming
Yeah.
out and hitting the market.
I mean, technically, Rob broke a rule tonight on his list.
Yeah,
Which
he
one?
did.
What'd I break?
Well, that Thomas H. Handy's not a bourbon.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, that's a good point.
It's a rye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have another one you want to put up there?
Okay, if
On
I
the
were gonna
pedestal.
do another, yeah, boy, Chris,
Man,
that's great.
he's a hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the bourbon police are listening.
Yeah.
that's a fantastic point. You're exactly right. I was so excied about that bottle that
I'll let you have it because we were
it's my
excited too.
special occasion. Hey, I'm gonna need whatever's in your glass. Pour it back into my bottle.
Well, it's, that
what-
might be
what-
difficult
what
at
would
this point.
Okay, so because I can't pick a rye and it's supposed to be a bourbon, from what I have in my bar right now for a special occasion,
Oh, I'm looking at it right now.
it's the 1999 Wild Turkey 101 from Italy, which to
12
me,
year.
it's a 12 year.
Wow.
It's absolutely, I mean, it's one of my top 3 bourbons
They-
that I've ever had.
They don't make them like that
My-
any
my-
longer.
my-
You've had it.
I have had it.
It's empty.
You want some?
It's a special occasion.
I mean,
It's a very, very special
is
occasion.
this, wait, is the special occasion over, or are we
Very-
still doing it?
no, very, very special occasion.
If I'll be happy to give you some as long as Matt commits to the 130 for.
Oh,
the-
it's a,
for the-
come on. You know it's opening.
He's had mine before, so it's fine.
You
I
know
was
it's
gonna
opening.
say something, but I better not.
Yeah, because
No, but if you guys want to try that 12-year,
I might have a little sip.
yeah, man, it's
You don't mind.
fantastic.
It
but
is outstanding.
That's a bourbon, so that qualifies. That's a
does.
special
For sure.
occasion
Yeah,
one,
For
and,
sure.
Excellent.
and it's another one that I absolutely think is
I didn't even know you had it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the fact that it's from the 90s and that the Wild Turkey 12 year wasn't even a United States
came from
release.
Italy.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's unique.
It's a fun one.
For sure.
It's
Definitely.
one that special occasion or somebody that wants to get into bourbon that you just kind of wow them a little bit with. It's a neat one to have.
Oh yeah.
See, that's what you think, and then and I'm not in any way comparing this to that bottle, but I had a friend that I poured some of the Four Roses OESO pick that y'all did, and he was like, "Yeah, that's
okay.
that's pretty good, I guess." And then I poured him some other stuff. He's like, "Oh, I really like this better." I'm like, "Okay, cool, drink that." You know?
Yeah, get that OESO for
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
No
Yeah.
need to revisit.
Yeah, no ESO.
Low experience level for him.
Exactly. Yeah, no. It's-
Funny how that works.
Not a gateway bourbon.
Yeah, definitely not a gateway bourbon.
Well, it's been a lot of fun, man.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us on, Rob.
Rob.
My first time. So
Yeah, Chris, you definitely got to come back for some more of these.
I will.
If you get invited,
I know.
getting on you.
It's an oak. When have I not invited?
No, I said to him because
Oh, okay.
he was getting on you about the
Well, actually,
the
make sure
handy.
I always bring something to share.
Hey, yeah, exactly.
So now we have some Michter's Tin bourbon that we can crack.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, that's going to be a show. That's going to be an upcoming show. So
Okay.
2 shows we have coming up. We have the Four Roses next week, which is tasting through all 10 recipes. Boy, Uber's that day, huh?
Yeah,
Yes.
I will not be driving to that one.
Yeah.
And I think we got a lot of shows coming up because the bourbon, what do we have? 18, 19, and 20 of the Mixers 10
Yes.
Yeah,
bourbon. And then we're going to do the Rise. We have the straight from the barrel, or the barrel strength.
yeah.
And we have
toasted barrel
16,
strength.
18, 19, and 20.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun one to go through and do a Rye show on those.
Absolutely.
Lots of content.
Yeah, that's going to be lots of content. All bourbon. We're going to have to do a wine show. Mix it in here pretty soon.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds
Give
great.
you a total novice opinion.
Well, thanks everybody for listening to this episode of Food, Wine, and Whiskey in Your Own Backyard. And until our next episode, enjoy your next pour.